Currently 2:56 p.m. and this is impossible light activity. It's the engineer light hitting the window. The shape of that window is appearing flat on the ground, spreading downward diagonally toward this direction, which is speaking to the light source being right here over. Again, the engineer light moves further and back, and so as the fake sun remains in alignment to the same exact address, that is 7 p.m., the engineer light reaches all the way to the back, which is how I had my shadow, which was upright on that door right there. That's impossible light activity, and it's demonic. This is demonic light activity that just continuously progresses as the fake sun remains at one address. And that's speaking to what is group stalking. Revealing what is demonic activity. And so the demon possessed are engaging in targeting in the US. And this is criminal conduct that, again, commercial actors such as Motel 6, that's what that venue is. And this is Holiday Inn, where this fake sun is remaining directly over me, speaking to the fact that I am being targeted by the state. And the state is engaging in what is satanic method of group stalking. And this is what I'm capturing that is underway by the housekeeper. Again, she's going to federal prison. She's engaged in surveillance. And so this is a position that she's maintaining while outside of my hotel room. Literally, this station that she's pushing is a means of amplified audible activity. Pushing this down the hallway is not going to create any sort of earthquake-like conduct. So while I'm in my bed, a vibration of the ground while she's at a distance away, that's impossible audible activity. That's identification of a demon who's engaging in targeting under the fake sun. That's the context regarding that impossible activity creation, which is sensational. Demons are monitoring, the elements of monitoring underway. Activity is created through light activity, relevant positioning, audible activity, including sensational activity, that which is creating a vibration, that which is causing some sort of shaking. And this is also what demons engage in, not only to monitor, but also to exhibit hostility, which is a threat to your life while the government's surveilling you. And it's a threat to your life while the entity is monitoring your documentation. That's a threat, meaning they're already conspiring to murder and kill you. And as you expose the fact that they're conspiring to murder and kill you, they engage in more of that criminal pattern of conduct that is designed to keep you under surveillance while they continuously and progress in an ongoing conspiracy on behalf of the state of California to murder and kidnap you. And in the same way that animals show hostility by barking, and cats show hostility by raising their tails, raising their backs, showing their claws, and hissing. So do demons in a way where a sick dog is foaming at the mouth and barking as though they're going to attack you. That's what demons do when they engage in the elements of monitoring, such as sensational activity creation when you are crossing path. Well, the hotel is the placement of a fake sun for the duration of the day, rising and setting. This is called crossing a path, and this is a person that is targeting while under the guise of wearing a uniform and working at the crime scene. This is how the United States is engaging in state surveillance. It is through the constituents of the state. This is occurring again 2:55, this is seconds ago, so I want to give an iteration of what the entity is continuously engaging in. This is documentation of what is impunity. And if this third party is not a natural born citizen, she's going to federal prison. And that's how every aspect of the people of the state of California is going to be prosecuted. I mean, the demon that's of the chief of police, the demon that is the fire chief over the San Bernardino County Fire Department, the demon that is the county sheriff over the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department. Any and all domestic terrorists will be treated in the same way under federal law. If you are not a natural born citizen, you have met the end of your citizenship in this country, you're going to be deported. And you are also going to be prosecuted. And that if you are going to federal prison, which this third party is going to federal prison, then you're going to be deported after that. So this is, again, crossing a path. This is not going to create any sort of earthquake-like conduct. It's not going to create any vibration. This is not going to create any sort of noise disturbance, but it does when you have what is the fake sun that's over the hotel. And this is what I'm capturing outside of my window right now. It's 2:55 p.m. The current time is 3 p.m. And if you'll recall, this is exactly where I stood in this parking lot at 8 o'clock in the morning. So let's look at that together, because as I'm at the same address, the fake sun is over the top of my head, which is also the ongoing context regarding witnessing demons who are group stalking. And this is impossible light activity that's on the wall behind a third party who is group stalking with minor children. This is a basis for losing custody of the children who are engaged in the system, the state of California's system of surveillance. They're standing in engineer light. The fake sun is over the building through the window at 8:43 in the morning. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This is the same building. Okay, that's not the sun, but even down to what is showing in the parking lot, so you can see it over the whole building. While I'm in perfect alignment with me at the same address, okay, as I walk deeper into the parking lot, so the fake sun moves to keep in alignment with me. This is 8:28 in the morning. This is over again the window. My hotel room is at the top floor, the third floor, where there's no explanation other than audible activity creation in conformity to the demonic pattern of conduct, which again, the people of the state, including commercial actors such as Holiday Inn, are going to compensate for. They're engaging in audible activity creation. And so this is the sound, as I've referenced, the sound of bowling balls, the sound of hammers, while demons that are pushing their housekeeping stations down the hallway, the sound of someone running, screaming at the top of their lungs, the sound of the traffic outside of the window, which is impossible audible activity. These are the demons who surround while a fake sun remains over me all day long. And remember, I'm in Hesperia. I am not in Las Vegas, Nevada, where I checked out of the Courtyard by Marriott after 12 p.m. and the fake sun remained over me, including over me while I drove on the streets, on the roads and the highways in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the fake sun remained directly over my head, which I showed through my sunroof of my vehicle while I was in constant motion en route to the state of California. And while I arrived in California, I drove through the state, San Bernardino County, which is past Hesperia on the 15, and the light source remained over me going past the city. The entity is engaging in a pattern of conduct where the sun is now rising and setting on in alignment from the entrance doors of this Holiday Inn and through the Motel 6 side of the parking lot. 12 hours later. That is speaking to on its face what is impossible, showing what the pattern of conduct by a demon-possessed entity, the public entity that is practicing satanic methods of surveillance. It is called group stalking, okay? And that's what you're looking at here. These are demons who are pacing, walking in opposite directions, and they're monitoring. This is the ease with which the demons are engaging in targeting. They're doing the same thing in vehicles. And as you see, while I'm standing in this parking lot at 8 o'clock and you see the fake sun over this building, so it is in the same position right here at 3:02 p.m. So let's count the duration of time. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. This is identifying what is surveillance. This is called group stalking, and these are demons that also know exactly what I'm stating. They know exactly what I'm doing also, while the ongoing creation of audible activity, which again, demons inside of the building are acting in concert with the demons outside of the building, while the entity is group stalking through the maintenance of audible activity in ways that are entirely demonic, meaning the amplified sound of traffic, which is heightened in volume. You know this very well with regard to the podcast captured inside of the third-party facilitating venue, where there is no sun. That's over the Monrovia Courtyard by Marriott, where the entity kept a fake sun again from morning until evening, which is a matter of documentation. But nonetheless, the entity sounded the 15 freeway, that was the 210 West freeway where the sun was rising and setting. This is the 15 freeway. But nonetheless, the 210 freeway, that traffic that was at a great distance, just because you could see it doesn't mean you're going to hear it. That's the admission of a demon-possessed population who is targeting. All right. And so in the same way that you're seeing this impossible light activity, which is placement of the fake sun that's here, again, that was, again, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 7 hours ago while I stood right out here. It's in the same position to be over my head inside of the building. That's speaking to what this is. And this is called impunity. Okay, she's engaging in surveillance with this demon that's at the opposite side of the hallway. This is a Holiday Inn that's engaging group stalking directly, and they're also group stalking with the demons who fill the venue, who are engaging in ongoing group stalking as well. Group stalking meaning the monitoring elements, light activity, relevant positioning, and audible activity. Relevant positioning is accomplished by just being present. Group stalking by housekeeping, group stalking by sitting in your car in the parking lot, group stalking by being at the hotel across the street, group stalking by walking in the parking lot outside, driving on the street outside, working at the venue, whatever means whereby the entity is maintaining presence and it's supposed to appear as everyday normal life when everything is absolutely abnormal and it's entirely demonic. And so these are also demons that know what you're doing inside of your hotel room. This is also why this demon is looking straight at me when she's walking out of her hotel room seconds after, with simultaneity to my capturing the relevant positioning criminal activity again that I'm documenting as I'm pointing my finger to the people of the state. So the people of the state exit with simultaneity to that documentation, while again a fake sun, that's 7 hours, and it's over the same position where it was this morning. All right, so these are demons who, while they are crossing path, they are going to federal prison for this. This is a sex offense that the entity is engaging in. They're doing it on behalf of the state of California. That's the government. And they're also doing it with knowledge of the fact that I am publishing the evidence of that criminal system that I remain subject to on the venue of the internet. And that's, again, relevant to the federal stalking conduct. The entity is doing so with an ongoing, obsessive, and desperate endeavor to try to stop that. And the entity is failing in that endeavor, but nonetheless to engage in it is the government's criminal conduct, and you're going to prosecute because Holiday Inn represents the state in the specific environment. Holiday Inn is in the shoes of the state, maliciously engaging in criminal conduct that is attributed to the state, doing so and seeking to obstruct the federal government's ability to capture the evidence of that. And that is a very bold and audacious criminal act, which they're going to face in federal court, in the same way that they sought to stop that federal court that's going to prosecute them from ever obtaining that evidence. And because the entity is engaged in that, you will be facing things such as deportation, okay? If that applies, you will be facing things such as federal prison, which this third party is going to federal prison. She's group stalking with the entity, and while she is outside and she is creating what is, again, the impossible occurrence, an earthquake, an isolated earthquake inside of my hotel room, doing so while I'm hearing screaming inside of my hotel room, the sound of children, which is nothing other than audible activity. The people of the state who are going to be removed from the children that they currently have custody of while they engage in terrorism. This is demonic activity designed to psychologically torture, harass, and monitor state surveillance with children. They're losing custody of them, okay? The entity is doing so. There's no earthquake that's going to be created while you're walking in the hallway, while you're running in the hallway, while you have a child doing any of that. But it is with regard to what are demons that do so in that specific environment, okay? This is what Holiday Inn is fully engaged in. Remember, this is the same address, 9750 Key Point, okay? And the fact that I'm able to continuously capture evidence of what is the remaining light source speaks to the fact that that was not the sun over me in Las Vegas, Nevada. Speaking to the prosecution and the federal imprisonment of the demons that engaged in the exercise of fictitious authority, I'm referencing all of those clowns wearing Las Vegas Metropolitan Police uniforms, and they're going to federal prison. That was not the sunset, that was the light source in perfect alignment with me in an entirely different state, which is impossible to maintain any presence while this demon is stalking in the path with their foot on the brakes. That is the people of the state who are engaging in state surveillance with ease, and they're going about maintaining presence as one entity. Remember, the multiplicity of faces is what's required to engage in group stalking. Not one demon that has to stay. That's traditional stalking. The multiplicity of faces who are pacing is group stalking, and it's satanic. All right? That's what Holiday Inn is engaging in. Holiday Inn is going to compensate for that. Okay, and everybody that works at Holiday Inn is going to federal prison for it. And it includes the idiots who are stalking under a fake sun, idiots that are college educated, idiots that are not college educated. There's nothing different between one that is trained to clean toilets and one that has a Bachelor of Science in public administration, sitting as a chief of police, group stalking. There is no difference at all. Contrary to what your mind has been conditioned to accept, they're idiots group stalking under a fake sun, and I'm going to prosecute the state of California for a sex offense that I'm subject to while terrorism. So the entity is amplifying audible activity. There's nobody upstairs, sounding as though there's stomping occurring from above me, creating earthquakes while you're crossing path. That's criminal conduct. You are crossing path in the specific environment, creating earthquakes inside of my hotel room. That's terrorism. You're going to compensate for that. All right. And the presence of the engineer light, this is constructive presence by the government who is group stalking, doing so in concert with the people of the state. The people of the state is the state. The people of the state represent the vicarious criminal conduct, the vicarious activity creation, the vicarious engagement and obstruction of justice on behalf of the government. That's group stalking in the specific environment. All right, it is currently 3:09 p.m. That's surveillance, and that's terrorism while an entity is engaging in surveillance in this sort of psychotic manner. This is not housekeeping under a fake sun. This is not housekeeping in engineer light. This is not housekeeping amongst sensational activity and amplified audible activity. This is not housekeeping amongst a population that is group stalking in a parking lot, because that's what these homeless demons are doing. They're group stalking me. It's surveillance. And any demon with a criminal record as a sex offense, as a kidnapper, as a murderer, is engaged in monitoring me. And that's also why you're going to prosecute the state of California for that. It is currently, again, 3:10 p.m. This is P.O.C.